Want to hear a Roman werewolf story? The account appears in Petronius' Satyricon, which dates to the 1st century CE. So I should just add that it does exist in the context of people telling incredible stories, so let's not consider this reported history as such. And there are a few things in it I think that fans of werewolf films and movies and stuff will recognise, and perhaps a couple of other things that you won't. Anyway, I'll get to the story. The story involves a character called Nikaros who's travelling to meet his lover, and he does so overnight. And to give him a bit more security, he takes with him a soldier. And on the way there, they stop off by the side of the road near some tombstones. And this is not unusual. Tombstones and tombs were often by the sides of roads. And he thinks, toilet break. He's kind of almost there. The soldier wanders off and goes about his business. But rather than just having a conventional toilet break, he takes his clothes off, urinates in a circle around them, and turns into a wolf. And then runs off into the woods howling. Nikaros is rightly terrified and eventually makes his way to Melissa's, where she tells him that they've just had a wolf attack some of their livestock, and they managed to wound it in the neck, but it got away. The next day, Nikaros travels back, and he finds the soldier back at his lodgings, but the soldier's got a really bad wound on his neck, and Nikaros puts one and one together and realises that the soldier was a werewolf, and decides that he won't hang around with them anymore, which is eminently sensible, I think. Now, about those conventions that I spoke about a short time ago, well, we have the werewolf as such not being changed by the full moon. The moon is mentioned, but only in the context of it allows Nikaros to see what's going on. And there's also the change as well. He doesn't change into a half-man, half-wolf. And early on in cinema, this was a real big problem for people dealing with the werewolf myth, which is why they generally went with a half-man, half-wolf thing, because actors are generally easier to deal with than dogs, or dogs looking like wolves. But something you definitely recognise is what's termed as the sympathetic wound. And that's where someone who gets injured as a werewolf is carrying that same injury when they're a human. And this is often part of the whole who's the werewolf thing that goes on with any werewolf film or book. And this is what happens here. The soldier receives the wound as a werewolf, but still has it as a human, and therefore this allows him to be identified.